This is the best of VOCM Open Line with Brian Callahan.
Let's go right to Steve Carl. And Steve, you're on the air.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me, Brian. It's good to feel a little connected to home again.
Yeah, no kidding. And look, while the Commonwealth Games were on, I openly just opined here. I said, we must have some connection here. And I said, I'll just throw it out sooner or later. And little did I know, because, I mean, obviously your family is in depth, like, entrenched in sport and everything, and yourself in diving, and your wife, of course, as well. But your son, Jordan, let's get to that first, and we could talk about the history. But lo and behold, your son, Jordan, and, of course, Puchko originally, right? That was the early stint before you hauled up stakes, to further his career, for his sporting career. And wow, good call.
Well, I can't say we moved to improve his sports. Mary and I coached, and there was a world-class pool being built here in Saskatoon, and we just jumped on that opportunity, and pretty happy we did. But we wanted to make sure our kids had a good family life, good school, and that was evident. But pretty happy with how things transpired in sports as far as our kids go.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to completely let you hog the line here. We have Jordan as well on the line. Let's bring Jordan in as well. Jordan, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. How you doing?
Thanks, Matt. Really good. Well, I got both of you on the line because you guys, it's a 3.5-hour difference. You're up Saskatoon way. And so I do appreciate you both being able to line this up today. I'm really glad. So
yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
Two gold medals at the Commonwealth Games in gymnastics, of course, on the pommel horse and with the team event. Did you think you were going to break through like that?
I mean, I had a feeling, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but me and my coach, we've been talking about this for a while, and he even said before I left, he's like, you have a good chance of winning, So it didn't add pressure or anything. I just thought I'd go out there and do what I can do.
Yeah, well, doing what you did was the best twice. So I just can't imagine.
Yeah.
Like, how does it feel to be gold medalist at the Commonwealth Games? I'm just trying to. What do you think of it?
I mean, I'm still trying to process it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel real still. But, I mean, it's a great feeling. I don't know. I still think about being on that podium, think about doing my routine, and I just love reliving the moment. It's awesome.
And maybe the national anthem just a little bit?
Of course.
Yeah. Look, what can you say about, we talk about the commitment of family, to furthering, what your goals are in life and that sort of thing, and what the family might do for it. What do you owe this success to?
I mean, everyone in my life has been so helpful. Yeah, of course, my mom and dad. Of course, my sister.
Really set you up for that one.
Coach. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
to my coach as well. He's been a crazy amount of help, and he's always supported me. My coach, Marcos, anytime I want to go to the gym, he's always there, ready for me to train. Without him, I couldn't have done it.
So is the sport the full time? What do you do when you're not on the pommel horse or on the floor?
Well, I'm going to school for electrical engineering, so it's pretty busy. Yeah,
trying to juggle a couple. And look, it goes without saying, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. When you, at the Commonwealth Games, it's a prep for a lot of people to judge how you are on the world stage. Are the Olympics in your sights? It's almost a rhetorical question, I think.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely they are. I have dreams about it, like actual dreams where I fall asleep and I'll wake up and I'll be like, wow, I just competed in the Olympics in my sleep. It's crazy. I've wanted it since I was a little kid, and I want to keep pushing. Okay, now
I was just going to, it's funny how sometimes callers to this show take words right out of my mouth. As a little kid, what do you remember about growing up in Puchko?
I mean, not too much, young. But gosh. I was one.
Yeah, so a little, yep.
But we do visit.
We take him back there to visit every now and then, and he remembers quite a bit. He loves it. The ocean, the house.
Yeah, I do love it there. Everything's beautiful.
Yeah. When was the last time you were back?
Gosh, it's probably been 5 years now.
Yeah, and the connection, I mean, you can feel it obviously through your parents and your grandparents, I guess.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And I mean, the family itself, though, Steve, you've, like I said, why don't you just fill us in on, I mean, your own, your diving, and your daughter, of course, you've got connections to the Paris Olympics that were held.
Yeah, she went to the Paris Olympics, and I traveled there to watch as my, Sydney was there, our daughter, in synchronized swimming. My wife was there with two of our athletes on our diving club. So the connection there was just, it was overwhelming. Yeah. It was hard to grasp, hard to sit down and not jiggle in your seat, and it was just too much. But it's, it's all about Jordan. For him, it's, is he athletic? Yeah, he's pretty athletic. Me and Mary get 100 of kids that are athletic, but Jordan's work ethic, Sydney's work ethic, that's what it's all about, and that's what I feel separates them two from, the rest that don't win the Commonwealth Games,
No, absolutely. It's the commitment, right? Despite all of the other things. I mean, and it's at an elite level. This is all the world. I mean, it's not just, okay, you can juggle a few things while you're going to university. We're talking gold medals at the Commonwealth Game on top of, as you said, the university and the other obligations you have, Jordan, as a 20-year-old, not the least of which, is the future and where you things going. Where do you see things going? Do you see this as a which one do you see as your side gig, the engineering or the athletics?
I mean, that's quite a difficult question. I spend so much of my time on both, But imagine after LA, after this Olympics, maybe I'll do one more, and then I know like the rest of my life after that is going to be dedicated to my engineering, whether that's a full-time job or research. It's just going to be something in there.
Yeah, so
Jordan's really good at dedicating his time to school when he's doing school, dedicating his sports when he's doing sports, and then home at family, we have really good quality time. We don't have a lot of time, but it's quality, and everything he does, he spends really good quality time. Where some people would go and study for 3 hours, they'd soak in about an hour of it. Jordan puts in an hour and soaks in all of it. So he's really good at managing his time and making it quality.
Yeah, and having a natural instinct for what the priorities are and balancing them. I mean, that's the trick, right, at that elite level.
Yeah, I'd like to say absolutely. We taught it to him, but he just has a grasp of that.
Yeah. Very natural. Listen, we could talk all day. Steve, just briefly, somebody just mentioned, just sent me a little note just asking when, just the full background of your time in Newfoundland, like the family roots, and when you actually moved away. Moving away, I'll have to blame that on resettlement 60 years ago. But I was born right when that was happening on Red Island. And my mom and dad were Red Island. Born in Red Island. I could proudly say I'm the only purebred Newfoundlander in the family. So that's the one thing I got on the rest of my siblings. Other than that, they, the rest of them stayed. But we spent 10 years, then we went to Ontario, and then we went back to Marystown, and then St. John's, Mount Pearl, in that area, and most of the family is still there. Both of our kids Jordan was born in Pooch Cove, Sydney was born in Fort Amherst. So made sure they were born up on the ocean. Yeah, and it sounds like the good sea air has done a body good. Listen, I appreciate...
That's where it comes from.
Absolutely, yeah. And the spirit and the commitment and everything else and the hard work, it all, we know where you got that then. Fort Amherst and Red Island.
Right. There's no doubt about it.
And Pooch Cove, no question. Listen, Buzz, thanks very much for both of you making time. Obviously we're going to be keeping an eye now on the progress. We all got Olympics on our brain now. We would just love, you know what it's like when we watch Newfoundlanders on the world stage. The pride is just off the charts, right? So you can imagine how people feel about
ownership of that. We're pretty proud of them.
Yeah, absolutely. By all means. Thanks again for this, and the best of luck in the future.
Thank you for having us, Brian.
Oh my God! Thanks for being able to do it and coordinate like this with the two of you from away. So, thanks again. Congratulations, Jordan. Thank you, Steve, and we'll be keeping an eye on you from here on in. No question. As you excel in the athletics, no question.
Thank you for having us
again.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Let's go to Manuel on line 1. You're on the air.
Good morning, Brian.
Morning.
A couple of quick things there. One is our roads, and the other one is our politicians.
There's a lot on that bone. Go ahead, Manuel.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Our road is still not done. There's nothing done with it. I've reached out to the MHA for Bonavista. He's not even returning the call. His secretary in Bonavista, she's super, she is, but there's only so much she can do. But Brian, I got this weird email on last weekend there. I texted him and I asked him about the roads. So he sent me back this weird email, and I'm waiting to confirm this now, what it's all about.
Okay.
But the email stated, asked me what I was crying or what I was crying about. And Brian, I'm not crying. It take more than the road in George Brook to Melton to make me cry.
Who said you were crying? Who said you were crying?
Well, it came from his line. Now, I don't know if he sent it or someone else. I can't say. I don't know. He's got to tell me that.
Okay.
But I can't get to talk to him. But I'm not crying, Brian. I don't cry about nothing like that. But I'm crying out, though. I'm crying out for something to be done with this road from George Brook to Melton before school opens. And we got to bus the kids over it and stuff like that.
Sure.
And when you got cars coming on both sides of the road, it's not good. And they're not transparent by the politicians. They're not transparent to their constituents. They're on there about oil and gas and the bigger things. I just listened to Jonathan Rowe. Mm-hmm. Now, I made several attempts to his office for he to call me. And Brian, he hasn't called me. And the other day I went in, and they said they was going to write a letter. They asked what they could do. I said, you can write a letter to the minister and state the problem. I said, ask them if something can be done. Now, they told me they were going to write this letter. It hasn't been done. But what I said to the lady was, I said, well, you tell Jonathan Rose, no need to call me now. He's going to write the letter, right, but there's no need to call me, hey. But I don't know why our politicians is not transparent. They can go to St. John's, they can go and do this, do that, and all that, but they can't take time to pick up the phone and call their constituents. I don't understand that. I don't get it, Brian. I mean, I'm 75-year-old. That's not the problem either. But I'm a senior, but I drive over those roads, and it is a bit frustrating to see cars coming to meet you on the wrong side of the road. They know all about it. What gets me is almost like they're waiting for an accident to happen. And, Brian, we got extra going through our community every day, almost, to different areas. I mean, what is the problem? I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. I grew up on the rail bed here in George's Brook back in the 50s until he took it off. And the government was supposed to give us lots of money. I gave the province lots of money to fix our roads. But, boy, I'm going to tell you, we should try to bring the railway back again.
Yeah, I was speaking to this the other day. The money, the Roads for Rails agreement in the late 80s was, I mentioned the other day it was a trade-off, the rails in exchange for the outer ring. But, I mean, those are the big headlines. It was money for the entire province and for the roads in exchange for losing that mode of transportation. You're absolutely right.
But, Brian, where's that money going? I'd like for someone to come on your line and tell the people where this money that the federal government allotted out for the roads, where it's going. Is it going somewhere else to some other thing, or certainly not spending the roads?
Going, gone. That money that came at that time.
Well, it's gone. And I mean, I would read it like shocking, but I would really like to see the railway put back again here.
Well, listen, I'd be all over it too. Expense-wise, where you put it, you're not going to be able to go back on the trailway because that's established now. So there's a lot on that to be discussed, to say the least, Manuel.
And Brian, I don't understand our politicians, though. I really don't. I can't wrap my head around how they can do what they're doing and not be transparent. They'll come on and say that they are, but right. Yep. They're not.
Manuel, I'll tell you this. I've mentioned it before. They could save themselves and everyone a lot of trouble by just communicating, even if it's down to, you can't even imagine, just returning your phone call. Could save probably this phone call by you. At least you've got a return call, and then you made contact, and that just keeps you, maybe just to keep you at bay. But Manuel, listen, I'm right past the break.
Well, that's what makes, I know, and I thank you very much. But that's what makes it frustrating. Like you just said, instead, when they don't call their constituents and say, look, this is the reason this can't be done, or whatever, they're not saying no.
That's right.
But they're not doing nothing.
The communication is the first step, and even if you get that, at least then it's opened. That communication is open.
Brian, it's not fair, though, from me putting this stuff on their secretaries. Those secretaries can only do so much.
Yeah, and them as well. I mean, look, the MP, really, he has staff for that, or she has staff for that reason, right? They're supposed to be the first line. They'll get back to you, line up whatever you need, gather the information so that the time that the MP does have, which is limited more so, the staff are there to communicate. I mean, at least it condenses and gets the issue down to the focus, and then when you do make contact, you can at least have the issue boiled down. So there's reasons for that. Manuel, listen, I really got to go, but I'd love to continue.
An open line is the only communications we got that we can speak out and get someone sensible to talk to us. And thank God for open line.
Yeah, I got that line in my song that I wrote about open line. Thank God for open line. Stole it right out of my
mouth. I don't hear nothing, Brian. Next week, I'm going to call the federal government in Ottawa and see what they got to say about it.
And call me back too, Manuel. Let me know where you get with it.
Brian, listen, I know you're busy. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Because if it wasn't for people like you, how bad a state would we be in?
Well, I appreciate that. I'm just here as a conduit, a liaison, and give you the opportunity
you're doing a good job. I listen to you. You're doing a good job.
I do appreciate it. Despite the frustration you're having, I appreciate the kind words.
But I'm not crying, though. I'm crying out, but I'm not crying.
No, you are not. Absolutely.
You have a good day now, and I thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Manuel. Manuel, next time, let me know where you get with Ottawa. I'll be talking to you. Thanks again.
I will. I'll be in touch with Ottawa next week. If I don't hear nothing from Craig Party or Jonathan Rowe, I'll be in touch with Ottawa next week. You got no worries about that.
Sounds good.
You take care now.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Let's go right to line number 4. And Eugene Nippard, you're on the air.
Good day, Brian. How are you today?
I'm good for Friday. And not only that, Eugene, it just cleared out here. There's no fog between me and Kenmount Road. So that's first in a few days here, to be honest. So I'm looking at the positive of anything I can get.
It's going to get better. 20 degrees of sun here in Lewisport.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever, Eugene. You move on now.
In Central. I want to thank you, David, for taking my call, and you and the VOCM again for me getting on and letting the public know the importance of trying to get something done with the moose vehicle accidents. And Brian, boy, I tell you, it's been a bad year. It's been a hard year. And, I drove to St. John's a few days ago, and the reason why I was involved in a moose vehicle accident, of course, and my friends, and I've had loved ones killed, and I've had members of SOPEC that's passed away because of moose accidents. It's just so terrible. And Brian, it's to the point now, and I'm telling you the truth. If I sat down at Tim Hortons with 4 people, one of the 4 got a story.
Yeah.
And we got more moose per kilometre than any other part of the world. Now, why that got to be, we'll leave that for another day. But it's unbelievable. And this year it's been terrible. We have had people killed, as you know. We have had people killed. And so I'm still fighting, right? Along with SOPEC, of course. I'm still fighting to try to get more done. We had 6.8 million approved for brush cutting and fencing, but we need even more, Brian, because when I went to St. John's a couple of days ago, there was 13 moose accidents in Terranova National Park. When I came back, there was 14. A couple of days later, there was 14. Now we did, because I negotiated as for SOPEC, I negotiated with Mr. Brake, the superintendent at the Terranova National Park. This is quite a time ago now, and we did get 30 feet cut back, because in the beginning we were never going to get this cut because it's a national park. But we did get 30 feet cut back, and thank you. We did. But now it's up again, and there's only a matter of time, and we're going to have another fatality. Sad to say, in Terranova National Park. So I've been emailing the government. I've been taking pictures now and send off to Johnson Road, the MP, And hopefully we're going to get some footage and get the brush cut back again. Even if it's 30 feet, we asked us for 80, but even if it's just 30, at least there's some visibility. And, and we still got a lot of areas, Brian, that don't have brush cut. For example, when I drove out of St. John's yesterday, there was a moose killed there by about 5 kilometers west of Glovertown intersection. The brush is right next to the highway. Moose after been killed. Now, I don't know the results. People got injured, but no one's killed, I guess, or else we would have heard. But it's terrible. It's insane. And I've been at this so long, since my moose accident in 2002, and we shouldn't have to fight to get things done to save people's lives. We shouldn't have to. I mean, the government, our provincial government, our federal government should know. They drive the highway. An MP or an MHA can get killed as well as you and I. And we have had MPs killed. MP killed and MP seriously injured. So, I mean, these people know, what Sopek is saying, what Eugene Nippert is saying, makes so much sense. We got to get the brush cut if we're going to keep the 130,000 moose in the province, because we don't want our loved ones killed. The next one could be you or I. Pray God, it won't be, but you don't know. So anyway, we're going to keep working on trying to get the brush cut in Terranova National Park. We're going to trying to get the brush cut in areas like the Glovertown intersection, west of Glovertown intersection, where we just had a moose killed, and I don't know what the results was. I don't know if anyone got injured or killed. But Brian, what I'm saying is, I'm going to cut it short because I know you're a busy
Oh,
man.
go right ahead. Yep.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense, because I haven't stopped to the point that I got all my hair gone on top. I haven't stopped since my moose accident, because and it don't make sense to have to fight so hard. I mean, we went years without any fencing. Why would we have to go years without fencing when everybody knows, right from the healthcare down to the forestry to the wildlife, everybody knows where the brush is to. Everybody knows where we have people killed. I mean, we say by the Welcome to Green Bay. The sign. I mean, I was lobbying for years on behalf of Sopek and myself, lobbying for years to try to get that brush cut. So after we got 3 crosses, we got the brush cut. I mean, Brian, it don't make sense.
And when you say the three crosses, just so people know, those delineate fatalities on the highway due to moose?
Yes, sir, exactly. And one of them only in their 40s. And it's terrible. So please, government, provincial and federal, take this very serious. If you're going to keep the number of moose in the province that you got to keep for the public or for the outfitters or whatever, please protect the people. Now, I know speed could be a problem. Yes, people speeds and we needs more RCMP on the highway. I love seeing RCMP vehicles parked on the highway. We needs more parked on the highway, because at least it could bring people down and slow them down a bit. But,
we know it absolutely does, and Paddy said it. We've all know it. It's a very common, straightforward thing. You park a squad car on the side of the road or a patrol car, and it's just automatic.
Yeah, well, I drove at a Grand Falls Windsor last night around 9 o'clock. So now the evenings are getting shorter, as you know. So around 9 o'clock is just a duckish, eh?
Yep.
Now that brush cut back last fall and the spring, oh my God, it's a blessing. I thank everybody. It's a blessing. Now you can see that moose, even when it's duckies, because that's when they're on to go.
Yep.
Early morning or late or at that time at night. And so it's a blessing that it's cut back and you can see the moose before he's through your windshield. So, provincial government, if you listen to VOCM, and I'm sure you do, please take this serious. Like, the brush needs to be cut by Glovertown. We need the brush cut in Terranova National Park before we got a fatality.
And
we got...
I was just going to say, Eugene, just before I let you go, and you're right, we got to get going, but I just wanted to mention, I thought of you when Prime Minister Carney was speaking in Grossmorn there a week ago, and he referenced, wow, beautiful, talking about the beautiful, the park and everything that comes with it, and he also referenced, and he mentioned the number of moose per square kilometre in the park, but he didn't mention any kind of risk with it. He just kind of mentioned, and I thought of you immediately, how much you probably would have appreciated an ad-on line that said, but we really have to take care of that problem here as well.
Yeah, yes, and I'll make this quick. Like years ago, I went to a meeting in the university in Cornerbrook, and it was about the moose eating the trees in Grossmore National Park. And I went there because it was killing our people in Grossmore National Park. So I got up and raised my hand, and I said, we should have a hunt in the park. You'll never see a hunt in the park. Well, I said, why not? Nothing happened there after October month. So we did get a hunt in the park. And I went to Welkendale that fall and just see what people would say, talk to the public. And they said, look, you should look out there. There's a moose in the back of the truck. Now, that could be true as wind chill.
Yeah.
We need some. You know what I mean? We have 5,200 moose in Grossmore National Park at the time. It was gross.
Yes,
People
sir.
got killed.
Loud and clear, Eugene. Yep.
Yeah, you're on board, and I'm sure your brother is, because he's been on board with me all the time.
Yes, sir, he is.
Sean, yeah. Anyway, you guys have a good weekend, and thank you, VOCM. God bless you.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
And welcome back to the program. Let's go right to line number 3. And Phil Rendell with Special Olympics NL. You're on the air.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Hey, great. And speaking of good news, we're trying to really block the show with it as much as we can to offset some of the other stuff. But our athletes on the way. Special Olympic Games, Summer Games in Medicine Hat. This is great. When do they leave? Or when do you leave?
Yeah, correct. So, I'm just calling to kind of put it on everybody's radar here in the province that we head to Medicine Hat, Alberta for the 2026 Special Olympics Canada Summer Games. We leave on Sunday with our delegate of 60 team members, 36 of which are Special Olympic athletes here in the province. Yeah,
I'm looking at the list of them, the coaches and the people who are involved with this. Does it get any more rewarding? I'm just asking.
No, definitely not. This is definitely the pinnacle of sport for us. Yeah. It's awesome to get out there, bring all these athletes out for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. For some of them, it's, their 5th or 6th games, but for some of them, it's the first time that they've ever, left the province. So it's a huge opportunity.
When you say, I notice a poster, it talks about the SOMP Warriors participating. Shout out to the SOMP Warriors. Who are the SOMP Warriors?
That would be the SOMP Warriors. So that would be the Special Olympics Mount Pearl Warriors.
There you go. Okay, I'm looking at the acronym.
So we have 14 different clubs right across the province. Right. So some of our clubs, like we have the Mount Pearl Warriors, we have the St. John's Explorers, all the way out as far as the Lab West Biglanders in Labrador. Okay. So those 14 clubs kind of represent all of our athletes across the province.
I could try and attempt to, describe what this means to the athletes and to the people, to the athletes, the coaches, and the staff that do this incredible work, rewarding work. But I'm going to let you. What does this mean to the athletes that compete at the Special Olympics that you've seen over your experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Like I said, it's, for some of our athletes, it's that the highest level of sport that they'll compete in. And they get to compete on a national stage. So they get to kind of show off the skills and all the hard work and dedication that they put into each individual sport. And if I could quickly plug, if you really want to see that firsthand, we're going to be doing our athlete send-off this Saturday, so tomorrow, from 4 to 5:30 p.m. at the Bruno Center, so the Inco building at MUN, up in the lecture hall up there. So nice. We're going to be basically sending off all of our athletes. We're going to do a draft presentation where we draft all of our athletes to the team. We're going to do an athlete walkout, some special remarks from some guests, and it's just going to be a great experience for everybody involved, and it's open to the public. Everybody's welcome to attend.
Yeah, if you're in need of some smiles around you and goosebumps and positivity and just sheer happiness, this is the place to be. And not only that, the experience of the trip itself, the group of them going away like this to another place, another part of the country, the people they'll meet, those friendships there. It's like I said, it's just goosebump territory for me. That's all I can say. I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, you and me both. It's an amazing experience for sure. And I always, even at a provincial level, I always try to promote, volunteering as well with the organization. It's, we never hear a bad thing about volunteers volunteering with us. It's always positive experiences. They get to work closely with the athletes. It's it's pretty positive environment all around.
Yeah, and this isn't all about, as we know, not about the gold, silver, or bronze, but the accomplishments and the participation goes without saying. But I'll bet we do have a few medal hopes and diamonds in the rough, are there, that you'd like to single out maybe?
100%. So, like I said, we got 36 athletes competing in 7 different sports over in Medicine Hat. There's 10 sports in total. But like I said, our athletes will be competing in 7 sports, and there's 1,700 participants going. So there's lots of competition out there, but we've got some very, very top level athletes that are going to be representing Newfoundland and Labrador. So we're really excited about that, and yeah, it's gonna be a great experience, and all of our athletes are super pumped, super excited to get out there, and the countdown's on.
Oh, I was just going to say the countdown. It can't come soon enough. I'll bet you there's a lot of sleeplessness going on. I'll guarantee it.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
What time is the flight on Sunday?
Don't even want to talk about it. We got to be at the airport for 5 a.m.
That's what I was thinking.
I think we take off around 6:45.
Yeah.
And then we land in Calgary, and then it's about a 3-hour bus ride to Medicine Hat.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's going to be a long day for our athletes, but that's, they know what they're signing up for, and they've been preparing for this. We do 2 training camps prior to going away to nationals, which kind of gets our athletes used to the rigor of national games and traveling as a team and making sure that they're up to the challenge.
No question. Well, look, Phil, I wish you all nothing but the best. I'm sure it's going to be an incredibly life experience. Memories incredible that you'll take them with them forever. Good luck with everything, the trip, and I look forward to a call back from you when you return and fill us in on how it all went.
For sure, yeah. And like I said, I'll be doing all the media relations out there, so I'll be sending you guys updates day by day. And feel free to reach out if you want to do any stories while we're out there or when we get back. More than happy to do that as well.
Sounds great. Great. Safe travels. Awesome. and congratulations on everything and good luck.
Thank you so much.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Welcome back to the program. Line number 1, the coordinator for the Logie Bay Middle Cove Outer Cove Museum, Sarah Mooney. You're on the air.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Good morning. Long time no speak. How are things?
I know. I only called in just last week, but we've got more stuff on the go at the museum, and we're hoping to get the word out.
Oh, well, listen, this is the way to do it. Go for it. What do you got?
All right, so we've got 2 things coming up. This Sunday, as part of the Festival of Friends out here in Logie Bay, Middle Cove, Outer Cove, we're doing a pop-up vintage market.
Ooh.
The idea is that, if people like old things, you like collecting antiques, you like collecting vintage, you probably also like museums filled with lots of old things. So we're trying to bring people in through the door.
Love it. Nostalgia is in vogue, no question.
Yeah, and it's very exciting. We've got 14 vendors lined up, so all different small businesses. A lot of them are vintage clothing, vintage and antique furniture and household items, but we also have some really cool artisans coming in. So it's really a diverse kind of mix that we have, and it's going to be all in the museum, which is kind of cool. It's a first. So we're basically transforming the museum into a mini market, so to speak.
I love it. The events you've got going on down there, you're just shaking it up and making it new and different, and variety is the spice of life. And this is great. All the different events you're at. It's just the enthusiasm is palpable right through the phone. So, listen, if I'm around, I'm looking at just think of a Facebook post you have here, and just the old TVs and that thing, for example. I love it. It'll be really interesting to see what comes out.
Amazing. Yeah, we're super excited about it. So, yeah, it's going to be from 11 a.m. to 3 on Sunday, and we're located at 744 Logie Bay Road. But I have 2 things to talk about if you can give me time this morning. I know it's always quite busy, especially on Fridays.
No, I looked at it. We got a few minutes. Go for it.
Amazing. Okay, so on top of the market, we also are launching a brand new weekly program next week, and it's a partnership between us and the Torbay History House and the Torbay Folk Arts Society. So essentially, we're doing programming every Wednesday in August up until September 2nd, so throughout the rest of the summer, for babies and toddlers, and it's specifically with folk musicians that are through the Folk Arts Society. So essentially, from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Wednesdays, we're inviting people to come in with their, on the poster we say 0 to 24 months, but we're not super picky. If you want to bring, an older toddler or what have you to come and hang out. It's essentially a trad session, a trad music session for babies and toddlers. It's super good for their development.
Fantastic.
And
yep.
we call it Wiggles. We're calling it Wednesday Wiggles. So it's
no copyright infringement. No copyright infringement there, I hope, on the actual Wiggles.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. But no, I don't think so.
I think you're good.
We should copyright it.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so it starts next Wednesday. No, you're good. So yeah, it starts next Wednesday, and it's going to be a little bit later in the day. I was talking to some of my friends who have babies and young ones, and apparently there's nothing really on the go at 3 o'clock. A lot of stuff happens in the morning for people with babies, but when they wake up in the afternoon and they need something to do, there's a complete gap. So we're hoping to kind of fill that gap and get more people in through the door at the museum, but also, it's so important for babies' development to get exposed to music. It does incredible things. My mom's probably listening. She's a developmental psychologist, so she's like, I gave you all these stats, you're forgetting them. But there's a ton of research and statistics that have gone into the role that music can play for babies. Plus, I think you're never too young to go to a trad performance.
God, no.
My dad's a folk singer, so I've been going since, honestly, probably two months old. So.
Well, get them while they're young, as I say, right? Get it in the head, get it in the brain,
Exactly.
get it in the bones, in the blood, and it'll be through with them forever.
Exactly, and actually learning music and music notes and kind of getting exposed to music at a young age is almost equivalent in the brain to learning a second language. Mm-hmm. It has the same kind of neurodevelopmental impact. So it's super good. We're also just really stoked because the musicians are phenomenal. And, people don't really know much about our museum, so we're trying to get more folks out, and it's going to be a fun time. I've already ordered little baby maracas for them to shake and play along with it. It's going to be super fun. It starts on Wednesday, and then anyone who's interested in the vintage market, that's Sunday. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No. I love the enthusiasm, the positivity, and just the upbeatness of it all. It's fantastic. Anything else?
Nope, that's it for now.
Okay. Well, listen, that's a lot, but it's great stuff. And maybe you're just going to have to change the name. It's the Logie Bay Middle Cove, Outer Cove Museum and Event Center.
And I mean, maybe so. Although we don't want to compete with the Justina Center because they're quite busy. And they're just down the road. So yes. I might get in a bit of trouble for that. But
Co-Event Center. No.
Co-event, but we're just very excited to have people in the museum, and anytime anyone wants to come visit, like we're open from Wednesdays to Sundays, and it's completely free for any visitors, both during our events and outside. Anyone who wants to come, say hi, we'll put the kettle on and come in and learn about the history.
But that's as good a pitch a better pitch than I could have made, so there you go. Sarah, thanks for this. We're right at the news, but look, always, the lines are open for you. Let us know how all these events are going. It's great enthusiasm, great options for families, and like you said, the stuff for kids and all the rest of it. It's great work you're doing and great promotion too, so I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having us on.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Line number 1, John, you're on the air.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you. For a Friday, can't see the road for the fog, but it's Friday.
I know I laughed when I was thinking about what I was calling in about, to be honest with you.
So did I.
I'm the race director for a new triathlon that replaced the one that had gone on for about 40 years out at the Rotary Sunshine Park at Healy's Pond on Thorburn Road.
I recall it well. Yep.
Yeah. So I was involved in that former event, and so I'm with Triathlon Newfoundland and Labrador, and we're just calling in to advise the general public that on Sunday morning there are going to be some road disruptions until 10:30 a.m. But what I've got done this year as a change from other years is that we've only got one side of the road closed. So the bike route that leaves Healy's Pond goes up Thorburn Road towards Portugal Cove, goes on to Tolt Road, comes back Tolt Road to Old Broad Cove Road, and then back down Bennett's Road. So it's a big square. It's one side of the road only. So the roads are open to drivers. It's just that they've got to go in the opposite direction to our cyclists.
Whoa.
And so we're hoping that that's a positive change, because in previous years, Bennett's Road used to be closed completely, and that was a real kind of inconvenience for the public out there. And so we're hoping that that's going to be a positive change for people, that basically the longest they're going to have to drive is 4 kilometers out of their way, right? Because where it's a rectangle.
Understood. Safety is the first thing that jumps to mind with that, as long as drivers behave themselves, if you have both just separated by the solid line, right?
Well, it's not separated by the solid line.
I'm sure it'll be pylons. I mean, on the same road,
and we've got traffic marshals out there as well, so we'd appreciate the public's patience with that. The RNC is going to be out there as well, assisting us. And the roads are going to be open again at 10:30. So, again, previous years it used to be quite a bit longer, but we've kind of streamlined stuff this year to try and be considerate of the fact that we are operating on public streets, and we don't want to have the, interfere with the comings and goings. And in particular, I did hear the ad just then, which we're aware of the 5K going on out there in that area as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, just to reiterate to the public that the Portugal Cove St. Philip's area is going to be pretty busy on Sunday morning. If they don't have to go there until 11, because the 5K said it was over at 11 on your ad, and we're done with the roads at 10:30.
Right.
Maybe that's probably advisable, right?
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, we're trying to meet everyone literally halfway, hey?
Yeah, well, and this is it, right? And apparently I've been told by the town of Portugal Cove St. Philip's, if I don't bring sunshine, I can't have the triathlon. So
pressure's on you. It's too bad you're not down on the Buren.
Well, this is it. So the pressure is on. I got an order put in for sunshine, and hopefully it gets delivered.
If you get anywhere with that, send me along your contact, will you?
I tell you, I'll have a product that people are willing to buy for sure.
If that comes true. And, of course, being at the Rotary Sunshine Park, it would only be fitting that this go on, the Sunshine Triathlon, with a bit of sun at the Sunshine Park. So we got to have the trifecta, right? Literally.
Well, and I tell you, we looked at the forecast last night for what it's worth, and it actually says the winds are supposed to be 2 kilometers an hour. Now, I don't even know how that's possible, but... So it's a start, right?
It is a start. The winds, oh my God, I don't even know what to say about that. When there's calm winds in this province, I feel like I'm on vacation somewhere. When there's just nothing blowing the head off you.
Well, this is it, and I mean, I was involved with the Kids of Steel Triathlon at Barring Park on Regatta Day. And, I mean, the winds just came up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was dead calm, and then I was hanging onto the tent legs of the tent that I was underneath doing public address announcements, and I was lucky there was a couple of people with reflexes like cats because they grabbed the other legs of the tent or they would have been airborne, right?
Yeah, and now we know how we're, imagine offshore, out to grab a few fish in the food fishery, and then when that happens, because it does. So not to throw completely sidearm in there, but you know what I'm saying.
I'm turning green thinking about it, to be honest with you.
I will say this, lack of wind, that'll be great for, look, the Tote Road is no easy, that's a climb. That's a great climb. That's a pretty big climb on a bike.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've heard that from people. I'm a cyclist and triathlete myself.
Yep.
So, I mean, I said to people, so what you got to realize is if you're going uphill on a circle loop, you're coming downhill too. So.
Yeah. With the speeds, yeah. Well, let's just, obviously, right, it's something new you're trying by just separating the road as opposed to shutting it down altogether. And as you said, there'll be marshals and police, and the road will be separated by, will it be like pylons or an actual hard line or a rope or something?
Oh, no. We're going to have pylons there, and we're going to have marshals, basically. And the marshals are not there to tell people, sorry, you're stuck on your street for the morning.
No.
The marshals are there as lookouts to advise the public that there's an event going on. And then, we've got 100 participants. It's not like I did Ironman Ottawa last Sunday, and they had 3,000 participants. So it's not like there's going to be bumper-to-bumper traffic, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, the marshals are just there kind of as a lookout so that somebody can not have to poke their nose of their car out on the edge of the street like we all have to do, making a turn, and just say, yes, you're good to go on, no?
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely. Just to direct and keep things copacetic.
Yes, exactly, right? And so, we're hoping for a great event, and we're hoping that we have minimal impact on the convenience of the general public out there. And we're hoping that it's the start of a bigger and better event in the triathlon community in Newfoundland and Labrador.
How's the registration, John?
Well, we traditionally get around 100 to 150 people. Now, again, this year, the Newfoundland Labrador Summer Games is on to go this weekend as well, right? And as you can imagine, a lot of active children have active parents, and that includes triathletes. So our numbers for a first-year event, I'm thrilled. I've been directing events of various sorts, 5Ks and stuff like that, for probably 25 years. And a first-time event getting, near what is taking the place of in the first year is fantastic, right?
Yeah.
And another example, the Paradise Triathlon last year reimagined their event and went with kind of a trail style event. And they got 50 people last year, and then this year they were pushing 100. Wow. So, and those are the type of numbers you're going to get in triathlon, because where it's an outdoor sport, of course, I mean, you're cycling outdoors, you're swimming outdoors, there's a hesitancy on the part of people to kind of invest in that kind of stuff. And I mean, like, it's 15 degrees here now. I was up in Ottawa last weekend, and it was 35. So we're definitely an indoor sport province, right?
Absolutely. And this just in, John, let's see, Sunday, mix of sun, a cloud, and a high of 18. That's about as good as you could ask for this time of year, given the weather we've had the last couple of weeks. So let's hope that holds steady for you, because, again, it's not 35. And 15, 16 is probably ideal for this, but 18, you'll take it.
Well, it is, and I mean, we're in the fall now, right? You know the saying, once the regatta comes, summer's over, so.
You got that. As soon as the last shell goes around, takes the turn, boom, hits you in the face.
Well, this is it. The wind changes, sun starts setting earlier, and leaves start falling off the trees.
Yeah, it's all fun and games in the beer tent until that happens.
Exactly, right?
John, good luck.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Yep, no problem. Thanks for calling in and bringing attention to it. Again, and mentioning, of course, it's going to be on the same time as that 5K event. So, yeah, people in that area, judge yourselves accordingly. As you said, there'll be lots of warning and lots of people there to marshal people around, so to speak.
Yeah, and good luck to the 5K, and good luck to the people in the Newfoundland Labrador Summer Games. I mean, that's a great event as well, and certainly good luck to the participants in our event as well.
Absolutely. Good luck with it yourself. Let us know if you do have a minute next week. Give us a shout back. Let us know how it all went.
Okay, I surely will. Thank you for your time.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line with Brian Callahan.
Let's go right to line number 2. And Jonathan Rowe, Conservative Member of Parliament for Terranova, the Peninsulas. You're on the air.
Good day, Brian. How are you?
Pretty good. How'd you enjoy the regatta? Saw you and your cohorts hanging around down there. Good times.
It was certainly a good regatta. Never managed to get a candy apple, but maybe next year.
It's too bad Lars isn't still open downtown St. John's. That would have been they were the best candy apples of all time.
Yeah, that's right. But I had a much more exciting day the day after regatta.
Right.
As you know, we had a press conference, and it was a very exciting one. I mean, Canada has committed 2%, we're working towards 5% of our GDP to go towards defense. Mm-hmm. And our Navy needs a lot of their fleet replaced and also new ships for our Coast Guard and Navy as well. So, I mean, why not Newfoundland and Labrador? And that was a conversation I started as soon as I went into politics and started amongst my conservative colleagues and brought the Shadow Minister, James Bazan, down to Newfoundland a few months ago to tour these some facilities that we have available in Newfoundland. And you know, we have an unemployment rate of over 70% of our unionized workers. That was put in the Telegram. Numbers brought out by Trades NL in March of 2026. 70% of ununionized workers unemployed in Newfoundland and Labrador. So we have the workforce, right? We have the facilities. I mean, you look at Marystown. You've got the Cowhead facility down there that built oil rigs. You know, they've had their hands in the Hebron, the Sea Rose, the Hibernia. They have employed up to 800 workers down there. They've got 14,000 square meters, not square feet, square meters of enclosed fabrication space on an ice-free port, deep water port. I mean, you look at the Bull Arm facility, you've got these massive warehouses, both wide and tall, that are able to accommodate so many components of shipbuilding. Then you've got our Port of Argentia down there, which just has a bunch of flat land and a huge port down there. Dock, I think, was over 300 meters, I think, is what it is, with an expansion. I mean, these are perfect facilities that have built oil rigs in the past, that have got the workforce ready to go, that has the colleges to train people in welding and millwrights and carpentry, all the trades that were. We are so prepared for this. We are ahead of the game in most of the country because we have not only the workforce, but we have these billion-dollar facilities sitting idle. So us as Newfoundland and Labrador, we're positioned very well for this. So the Conservatives, they introduced the National Shipbuilding Strategy years ago.
When you say they, you mean you?
Oh, sorry, no. The National Shipbuilding Strategy was brought into by the Conservative, but yes, that's right. But now, myself, we and our party, Pierre Poilievre, and they came on board and wanted to expand that, and calling on the Liberal government to expand the National Building Strategy to include Newfoundland and Labrador and possibly these ports in our riding in our Gentia, Bull Arm, and Cowhead facility in Marystown. So this was a great big announcement, Brian, and I really appreciate you getting me on the air today to speak about how exciting it is. I mean, in Nova Scotia, the Irving Shipyard employs up to 1,500 employees all year round. Right? Yep. For 10 years or more. So this is generational employment with big numbers. So I mean, this could be huge for our economy wherever it could happen to in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Yeah, and the federal Liberals, the government right now hasn't said that we won't be part of the National Shipbuilding Strategy. It just hasn't been said to what extent. I mean, we know we got local subcontracts that are flying, whether it's NewDock, whether it's the other. I can't remember the company right now, but they have an engineering and industrial firm. I'm trying to remember. They're working on Navy class. The River class destroyers, and I heard your leader, Pierre Poilievre, mentioning the corvettes and that sort of thing, that kind of work that could be done. There's no question. I mean, we have it. And the workforce, as you said, it's not like we're not experienced and don't have the expertise. There's just so much coming down the pipe right now that everybody seems to be holding in a holding pattern to see what happens. If Beta Nord, gets the green light next year, that's going to that's going to change things immensely, especially with the floating dry dock they've been talking about at Bull Arm. So you're right. I mean, look, there's no reason why we shouldn't be, and it's great that the Conservative Party is forcing that needle. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think you talk about the Beta Nord and building that dry ship, and that's falls into this big picture here. Yep. We can move that dry dock wherever it needs to be. We can build those additional supply ships for the Navy and unannounced work, perhaps they spin-offs or submarine procurements and stuff like that. And then there's also there's going to be decommission of the old ships, and that may be part of this strategy as well. So we definitely need to keep up the conversation and really put that forward. And hopefully, if we form government next election, we'll be able to guarantee that work comes here. But hopefully it starts before then. I want to see this happen sooner than later. I'm calling on the Liberals to make this happen, and it's the right thing to do for Newfoundland and Labrador. It's the right thing to do for Canada. We've got the biggest coastline in Canada, I think in the world actually, to defend, and we need to have an impressive Navy and an equipped Navy to do so, and why not build here at home some of the best tradespeople we can find in the world.
Yep, and absolutely. Leader Poilievre mentioned there, no one's going to get involved in the contract awarding and that sort of thing. I mean, they have to be bid on and they have to be assessed, so there's never any guarantees, but it's just it's counterintuitive to think that us here in our position with the experience we have with the deep water ports that we have in Bull Arm and elsewhere, our Gentia, the facilities that are there, they're on bust, and had a little bit of a layback with the lay down of all the pylons towards the wind energy. There was sort of a pause on that recently, so and Mayor of Placentia, Jamie Neville, is all in on this. I heard him speaking how he welcomed the words from the Conservative Party on while Mr. Poilievre was here, and you guys were up at, I think you're up at Dave Brazel's place. Were you up at McNiven's up there?
Yeah, we were up at McNiven's the night before and had a few events. But we had a few of the mayors come down, including John Pickett from Clarenville, Jamie Neville there we had a representation, Monty Pettipoff from Whitburn, the mayor of Marystown, Jerry Brenton wanted to make it out, but unfortunately had prior commitments, as well as some other mayors in the area. So I mean, it was a big announcement. Like you said, the Kiewit, we see Kiewit having some discussions with the national defense committees and places. We see the Bull Arm facilities owned by the province. I mean, anybody can come in and propose to them that they want to build. Same thing with the Port of Argentia being owned by the port, not a specific company. There's so much room, so many opportunities here for companies to come in and say, we can do this here. And to me, that even adds more to the conversation, saying we are ready to be equipped. We just need to push this forward.
Yeah, and do you, as I said, there's nothing saying that the Liberal government will not. They just haven't singled us out, which again, people are sort of, certainly the Premier has made overtures, wondering. I mean, obviously, defense contract-wise, we were mentioned in the same breath, and those subcontracts are there. It just seems very early in the process, and of course, the two big shipyards are getting the load of it, right? The BC out in Vancouver and in Halifax, as you said.
Absolutely, and there's no reason why we can't share that wealth around the country, and we're not really asking for it. We're not asking for our fair share. We're also saying, look, this is the best place to expand. Yeah. We're not asking for our fair share. We're saying, look, we already have the infrastructure. We already have these shipbuilding facilities that are ready to go. It's a lot cheaper to even start here than start from scratch anywhere else. So it's a win-win situation. Location.
And Jonathan, one last thing before I ask you on federal front. What do you think? Any predictions for the 3 by-elections upcoming the end of this month?
Oh, I haven't been paying attention much to them, actually. I've been very focused on the constituents here, traveling around the riding, hearing from constituents here at home, and making sure that I'm ready to bring their voices back to Ottawa when I get back there. And, of course, also relaying all the messages and working very hard to get this announcement ready and to deal with all the stakeholders and everything going forth now. So I haven't been paying much attention, perhaps not as much as I should, but you probably know more about it than I. But hopefully we'd get a few more seats and be able to expand our Conservative Party in Ottawa. Yeah, just in the vein of the importance of seats and the number that you've lost from floor crossers, which it could be another conversation from another day, but I know the one in Quebec would be a tough one to lose, but anyway, they look like some horse races there for sure. Listen, Jonathan, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks a lot. Is that the number one topic? You said you've been going around in the district and talking to your people. What's the number one topic that they bring forward to you? Well, unemployment. I mean, work and unemployment affordability is probably the number one topic.
Are you hearing much on the food fishery?
Very much. People are very excited the food fishery is open now 7 days a week on the northern part. The southern part, on the Burin Peninsula down. People are very upset still that they can't go. They feel very discriminated against. And I mean, with a hook and line fishery, it's very different than a commercial fishery. It's hard to catch what's not there on a hook and line, and it's very frustrating for folks down there. And most people feel that if it was open 7 days a week, you take off the urgency, there'd be no more fish caught regardless. Perhaps a little bit more, but not an extra, not a lot amount. So, Conservatives are saying if we win the next election, we're going to open it up for all the province 7 days a week. So it's something that's Newfoundlanders want to do. It's a small thing, it's a small policy change. It's not nothing. There's not billions of dollars to be able to do this. It's a very small change that means a lot to Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, and helps with affordability and helps with putting food on the table. Right? It's not just a cultural thing we do for fun. It provides food for our families.
Yeah, and just be clear. So you do support, the party does support giving the South and West Coast the same kind of access to the food fishery as the East Coast and North Coast have right now, 7 days a week.
We've been pretty clear with that, and that was absolutely. I'm glad you asked and clarified it, but yes, that was something that we were advocating for and still advocating for.
Yep, perfect. Just wanted to clarify that because I know I'll get a couple emails asking me why I didn't. So there it is. Jonathan, look, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Anytime, man. The lines are open right here for you if you got something to share, something news, and especially if anything on the shipbuilding front.
All right, really appreciate it. Take care.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Let's go right to line number 2. And Glenn, you're on the air.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
Pretty good. Thank you very much. How are you?
Good. Excellent, actually.
I hear.
I got some good news.
What a perfect timing, Glenn. This is our good news segment, so timing is everything.
Yes. Apparently, I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but apparently I rattled somebody's cage yesterday because they came out and fixed the phones on Long Island.
Dare I say we had something to do with it?
I hope so. It certainly proves the importance of VOCM and Open Line, that's for sure.
Yeah, so how did it all come out? When did you first get wind that they were moving on this?
Well, my dad, he was off the island yesterday, and when he went off on the ferry, he said the truck was there at 1 o'clock to go down and do the service, and they didn't leave again until 6, and when they left, it was fixed. So, happy ending.
That's amazing.
I don't care how it happened, as long as it happened.
Yeah, and just remind people again who you have there and who this was affecting.
Well, pretty much the whole island. I mean, 80% are, I'm just guessing, are probably seniors, and my dad is 90, and my mom, she's well up there as well. So, for them to have communication is very important.
No kid.
So that, if anything goes wrong,
Yeah, absolutely. I just hope it's funny. Well, not funny, and maybe a little ironic. I mean, people talk about the lack of consideration for, say, outside the overpass, so to speak. But you're fixed up there now. But there are still, and I'm getting emails by the hour or by the minute here, about problems with the service, specifically Bell, in relation to, of course, out of their hands, the damage that was caused to some of their infrastructure here in the city of recent weeks. And so I just want to remind people, in the spirit of this, it's great news to hear that that's settled on Long Island, while people here in town, in Metro, still wait for fixes for theirs. So that's wild.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the cell phone service, that's a whole different topic for another day, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, you talk about blackout zones coming down the Burin Peninsula. I mean, going across the whole province is the same deal.
Yeah.
Once you pass Badger, there's a lot of dead zones going across the province from there to Port aux Basques.
Yeah, and I got to make a run down to Burin, and I know this weekend, and I know exactly where the spots are. So only because I know, you can probably prepare and let people know if you can't reach me for this 15, 20-minute window. That's why.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's great news, Glenn. I always say, people, please, call and follow up when you got an issue and let us know if you got anywhere with it. And this is a perfect example of turning it around lickety-split.
Yeah, no, that's great. Really appreciate VOCM and you guys, you and Dave, for taking my call and getting this out in the open.
Fantastic. I'm glad it worked out, Glenn. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate the call and the follow-up.
Okay, thanks a lot. Have a great day.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Join music legend local stalwart, in his own right, Barry Canning. Welcome to the program, man. How you doing?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for giving me the opportunity today to talk about our good friend Boomer Stamp and talk about his legacy, I suppose, today.
Absolutely. And the GoFundMe here, and of course, if people don't know, Boomer's going through a rough time now with battling cancer, the freaking C word. And I love the GoFundMe. It just says, been the heartbeat of the Newfoundland music scene for so long, for decades, and truer words haven't been spoken. So appropriate that he won the Unsung Hero of the Year award at Music NL back a couple of years ago. Right? So, Barry, how's he doing?
He's doing all right. I did a gig with him in Grand Falls just a couple of weeks ago, and he had still not gotten his full report at that point in time. But he came to Grand Falls, played with the Canning Band out there for a show. And, he wasn't himself, but he's been having some rough health problems over the last many months, dealing with some throat things, but he got through the gig fine. But he was waiting for some results. So between that time and say last Thursday, when he got the results of what was happening, so we kind of wanted to see. We were going to kind of wait a little bit, but over the weekend, myself and Paul Kinsman and Corey Tedford, we decided we got to do something now, because we know this is going to be a rough road once he sees the oncologist and starts dealing with his health and trying to get onto the road of recovery. So I talked to a lot of people on the weekend. So on Monday, we started this GoFundMe for Boomer. But Paul Kinsman kind of led the charge. We had to get, bank accounts. And ultimately, we just didn't want to raise money. We wanted to get it out there. We needed to tell the public that Boomer was not well. And we knew that was part of our job. But we also knew we wanted to raise some money to help Boomer face the next couple of months and what he has to go through. And of course, he's a full-time musician. He always has been. And he's been, playing in Newfoundland since the 60s. And we really wanted just to try to help him through. And lo and behold, we got it up Tuesday morning. And by last night, we were up to $52,000. It just shows what the impact Boomer has had on not only musicians, but the whole province of Newfoundland, and anybody who's ever met him has always walked away with a smile on their face, right? Because he's a cultural icon, I believe, and he's a cultural icon. He did it from the ground up, right? Person to person, and he always had a good joke, right? So the GoFundMe was a way to give some thanks, but the way to make him feel that the next few months that we got his back and that we're gonna help him out and to show how important he is to Newfoundland and Labrador, and just to give our thanks. And because if you know Boomer and you've seen him do lots of fundraisers, right? Lots of over the years. I mean, he's done hundreds. He's probably done 100 with me.
You might as well just set up a little stall behind the kit, right? Just a little apartment.
100%, right? So, and like I think back to when his good friend Brian McLeod, who went on to play with Chilliwack, when he got sick. I mean, Boomer Stamp, he was the first person to lead that charge to raise money to help Brian McLeod, deal with his cancer diagnosis many years ago. Maybe Boomer was the first person to have these big, massive fundraisers. And he did a couple of those, and they would bring all the music community together. And we wanted to do that as well with the GoFundMe, kind of bring everyone together. And you could see the repost of this GoFundMe from all the major industry players in Newfoundland, from the acting world, from the music world. Yeah. And just because we want to get it out there, and the retweets of all this, and just to see the people putting the money in here just to help Boomer. And I'm going through the names on the GoFundMe, and I know so many, and I can tell you so many connections of each one of these people to Boomer to a certain degree. Then you have hundreds of others that you go, I don't know who this is, but I guarantee you Boomer has touched them in some way.
Yep. Look, it's common knowledge that the music community steps up for all the big events and the needs in this province, whether it's hurricane relief, forest fire relief, all the big, events that have come, and you can think of in your mind's eye down at Mile 1 since that place opened, but other places as well. Any kind of fundraiser or anything like that for other causes, but when it's one of our own, and not just one of our own, when it's a pillar of the music community. I mean, look, there's Newfoundland, there's music, and there's Boomer behind the drums.
That is correct. I thought today, I could sit here for hours and tell you stories, but if there's ever a Newfoundland Labrador, a Hall of Fame, for example, one of the first displays you will see will be Paul Boomer Stamp. He's played with the wonderful grand band, inspired more people than I could even mention. Seeing Boomer was as big as Ringo for me, right? Yeah. And he inspired me to. I would not have done what I did without the wonderful grand band, and certainly Boomer. And certainly I wanted to have his hair, what he had back then, his long flowing locks, of course, that the girls would scream for, right?
Oh, my God, yeah.
And he's done so much. Even, his stories about playing with Dick Nolan, for example. Stories I cannot tell on the radio. And I did have an opportunity to talk to Dick many years ago, and he confirmed most of them. And then you got his work with Spirit of Newfoundland, with his parodies, for example. If you get, and all your listeners, if you get a chance, you go on YouTube and look up Monkstown Funk, which was talking with Newfoundland weather, but using Bruno Mars' Uptown Funk, and you can see him doing that with Spirit of Newfoundland, or his work with Pete Soucy and Snook with his Christmas records, as in, rode off a red Ford Ranger and police got me stopped. Right?
I love that.
He just had that impact on people. And we just wanted to step up, and people like yourselves are going, well, we got to get this out there. Yep. And here we are.
Absolutely. And look, I don't want to talk about him in past tense, right? I know he's like, tell me a story about him. But we go down that road, when one of us is, finished our time here, but we're not even close to that. We're not even thinking about that. Me personally, wonderful grand band for sure, but the Ron Hines gigs downtown, wherever it was, the ship nights, just part of the furniture and part of the entire experience. Ron would, obviously commanded the stage, but I'll tell you, they're lurking the big shadow right behind them. I mean, he was keeping it all together. I always remember the one somebody told me once, and then it happened to me. He said, coming off a stage once, one of the best lines was, they do a great gig and clearly, rocked it, just left everybody wanting more. And he walks off and says, "Fool him again, boys."
Oh, that's just one of his lines. I'm often reminded I'm in Toronto and I teach high school in Toronto, and so many boomerisms come out of me, right? Just things that he's ingrained in my mind. I mean, he was, we lived together for quite a while in Kimberley, around me and him and Paul Kids. Yeah. This stuff gets, I've done thousands of gigs with Boom, but one of the ones that kids sometimes say to me, "Oh my God, sir, my arm is hurting me," and I'll say, "Well, your face is killing me." And that is full Boomer, 100%, right?
And just the way he'd say it. Just the way he'd say it.
It's just the way. And he has those one-liners. I mean, as Mark Critch said in on his post when he reposted this, he said, he's not just a musician, but he's probably Newfoundland's best comedian as well.
Yeah.
And
understated.
I think so too. I mean, and you look at him, his life as a downtown musician. Mm-hmm. You talk about him playing with Ron. He was Ron's drummer. Yep. Ron's entire life for the most part. I mean, the Ron Hines band with Paul Kinsman and Corey, and Billy Sutton. Just to go down and be immersed in that. Oh. And I mean, I would even go back even before then with his band Second Wind. I would go to the Carriage Works and listen to Race Hanlon and that band. I mean, who initially I was actually in that band, but Boomer fired me for race, which is fully understandable. And there's just lots of Boomer stories like that. I mean, and today I just wanted to speak to his legacy, and today, all week, of course, and me and Paul Kinsman and the quartet for just, deal with the GoFundMe. It's a lot of work to get going and get the money flowing. But, just talking about his legacy and just, you're raising this money, but still you're feeling you don't want to be raising it because you want Boom to be healthy and happy. And that is what we're going for, to get him to the other side of this. Yep. And, of course, over the last couple of days, I mean, many people have called me, texted me about, we need, not just do a benefit show with all the musicians who love him, but, we need to do a tribute to Boom, right? We need to do a full show and say, this is how much you've impacted us, and everybody needs to know it. And I would like for some of the younger generations who may not know some of Boomer's work to know it and to bring it forward so people know the impact that, a guy from Coronation Street and St. John's had on us, right, including you, right? So I think it's important to do that. So we're getting set at some point, hopefully in the next week, to announce a show just to celebrate Boomer and everything he's done for us.
Yeah, that was my next question. So when we get a date for that and a location, which shouldn't be hard to find, I'd say venues will be lining up for that one, Barry.
Oh, guaranteed. And the amount of musicians have already inquired, say, look, and the musicians you've already who said, look, Chris LeDrew, you got Tony Marie, Con O'Brien reached out to me right and said, look, I'm in. I will do whatever got to be done. And, and that's fantastic.
From one group of legends to another. Barry, this is great. And as you know, right, like just looking at how quickly we got to the goal here, it speaks volumes, and people may not have known maybe of all of the tentacles and how far Boomer's influence reached. Has and continues to, as you said, just a couple of weeks ago you guys played. So let's get him through this real quick, and I'm sure the financial is in so many ways, right? Not just for dealing with but peace of mind, just peace of mind knowing that he doesn't have to at least worry about that side of it in the short term.
100%, and that's part of our goal, just to kind of make him, deal with his health, and the money will be there for him to use. I mean, they already had to, they definitely had some expenses. He went to Montreal to deal with some diagnosis, and it was not cheap to do all of that, to go to some clinics up there. And now hopefully we're going to continue to maybe keep that GoFundMe open. So I just wanted to say that if you'd like to contribute to the GoFundMe for our good friend Paul Boomer Stamp, you can go to GoFundMe.com and just look up Boomer Stamp and you will see it. And I mean, we've had donations from $10 to $2,000, and just incredible.
Yeah, and the 2,000 and the 2,000 is anonymous, so that speaks to people too. You know, I mean, you're not looking for any kind of recognition here. It's just does the heart, the mind, and the body good, right?
You're very correct on that, Brian, for sure.
Barry, thanks for this, man. Listen, let's just keep an eye on it. The sky's the limit for that. There's no limit. We put a number there, but people can continue to donate and keep us posted on the event. That's going to be a must attend.
I think so too. I mean, everybody will want to be a part of it, and we will certainly let you guys at VOCM know as soon. I'm hoping the next week we'll have something to announce and get the ball rolling on that. We're hoping maybe at some point in September, early October, we're gonna do it. So,
sounds great, man. Listen, and thanks for everything you and Kinsman and the boys are doing for this, and Paul, of course. Keep us posted on it. Thanks for making time. Good luck. Keep us posted, and best to Boomer.
And best to Boomer, and thanks for having me today.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Let's go to line number 2. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning, caller on line number.
Yes, calling regarding the regatta there Wednesday.
Yeah.
A liberal government is supposed to be, helping out small business or whatever. It's pretty bad, when you're down there giving away water and pop and just deserting the small business. They're down there trying to make a little extra money, help out the business, and this is the kind of things they're down there doing. And then they'll talk about all the money they're putting for small businesses. Where's it that helping the small businesses, right?
Did you say liberal government? Are you talking federal or provincial?
Was the provincial.
Yeah, okay, so that's the PC government.
No, it was a liberal government.
Well, right now we have a PC government in power.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, sorry, I'm just a bit confused. I thought you were talking about this week.
Well, it was federal, I guess. I don't know what they were really. They were all there among together. But I mean, Joanne Thompson had a tent there, and right next to her was the Liberals.
Yeah, and the PCs were, and the Conservatives. Pierre Poilievre was there, and the entire caucus for the Conservative. It's funny. There was a time we could call the federal and provincial Conservative government by the same name, and then Prime Minister Harper came along, and now we have the division in powers, I believe, of the PCs here and just the Conservative government up along. So I always have to be careful because I'll get an email. But yeah, they were all on deck. Everyone, all the parties doing the glad handing and the. There's the schmoozing and the baby holding. I've seen Premier Wakeham with a couple of lovely baby shots there. None of that's ever changed. But what specific money are you referring to, or what?
Well, you hear the Liberal government saying they helps out small businesses and all this stuff. But I mean, if they're going to be down there walking through crowds, trying to draw a crowd together for handing out free cans of pop and free bottles of water. That's hurting the other vendors that's there to sell that kind of, that product. Yeah,
I wonder how much of an impact that has on them. I mean, I don't know.
I can seriously tell you that, yes, it had a great impact. I do know somebody that was involved in it.
Okay.
And I was basically involved myself, and it was a difference in sales this year because of it.
So just to flesh it out a bit for me. What, how much are we talking? How much of an impact? And I'm not sure we're talking about the free. You mean just the
free cans of pop and free bottles of water when the next door, you got a vendor next door that's selling it, and then you're not going to sell it if they're going to be next door giving it away.
Yeah, well, I can understand what you're saying. If you have someone close to you, or even yourself, that has been either hard done by, or any kind of profit or any kind of business was affected by the fact that they were giving away some free stuff down at the regatta, that would be news to me. I never would have thought it would be such an impact, just off the top of my head. I can appreciate what you're saying, in general about it. If government's giving out free stuff that a local business is trying to make a go of, okay, I just wonder to what extent. So you're telling me that it actually did impact, despite thousands down there and other opportunities. I mean, not everybody, I guess, availed of the free stuff. There was still a lot of vendors did pretty well, although I will give you this. The Lions yesterday spokesperson told me that it wasn't the best year for them or compared to recent years, but I don't know if that has anything to do with what we're talking about.
No, well, it wouldn't. They selling tickets and all that stuff. But you look at there's a couple places there right next to to the Liberals, and they were selling pop and pizza and hot dogs. I mean, them guys got hurt. They got hurt this year because of they gave away free pop and free water.
I'd love to hear from one of them directly. You didn't have a stall or anything, nothing set up there yourself this year, did you?
Yes, kind of. Yeah, we had something set up ourselves.
Okay.
And we seen difference in it this year according to other years. I know the weather did have a little bit of effect on it, but wasn't as much as what somebody. I mean, we even had someone come to us and going to buy something and going to buy a drink. And his mother patting on the shoulders said, "Don't buy a drink, they're giving it away next door."
Yeah, I mean, free is free, right?
That takes a fixing in yourselves.
Yeah, I understand that. I guess, the lake is a big place. If they had, I mean, they're trying to, get people to come on over and have a chat and maybe even talk them into their side and way of thinking. But, I wonder just the whole political side of it. I know there was an announcement for the $10,000. They've rekindled that for the Triple Crown and that sort of thing. It is what politicians do, right?
That's the PC government.
Yeah, I just say it is what all politicians do. They get down there because of the masses of people. They got to, want to be seen. They have to be visible. It's part of the communications plan. And to, make yourself known and get into conversations and show that you're of the normal, citizenry, just like the rest of them, and come down to their level, some people will say. But, it's part of it. It's always been a part of it. I know Justin Trudeau made a great habit of being at the regatta almost every year, it feels like, and the selfies and all that. I don't know. Do you want them just not down there at all? Maybe?
Well, it's not the part of them being in there at all. Like, if they got water here, whatever it was, why would you be walking out in the crowds, walking down in the line I was driving, and walking along and trying to promote to give away free water? Just basically what I call it is just trying to get a vote.
Well, that is the modus operandi. There's no question about that. The first job of a politician is to get elected before anything else, because he can't do anything unless he does.
But in the meantime, when they're down there giving away water and pop, they're hurting their small business too that's down there trying to make a bit of money,
Right on. No, listen, fair comment, especially if you were affected and you're a part of it, and if anyone else has been in that same boat and felt a little bit hard done by that, the free stuff versus them trying to make a buck. Give us a call. I'd be all over it. Obviously, you add more voices to the choir, it carries more weight, right? So.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Anything else?
No, that's it.
No, I appreciate the call and raising the issue. I never would have thought of it as like that before. I wouldn't have thought just me, because I don't have a stall down there and I don't have skin in the game, but I just never would have thought it would be that much of a dent, or, and the freebies are always nice for people who just simply can't afford stuff or are on a little bit of a budget, because you can spend a lot of money down there. Pardon?
There's nothing wrong with trying to, give away a scatter bottle of drink or a pop or what. But when you're grabbing those blue recycling bins that you put under your desk, grabbing them and going down among the crowd and giving it away, promoting it to it, I mean, it's kind of a little bit out of the ordinary to my opinion. Yeah,
fair enough. And that gives me a more visual picture of it, and others too, It's not just walking down with a couple of bottles in your hand, a big old blue tub, recycling tub, and passing them out. I can see how that would eat into, profit that some of these kiosks and other great community organizations and private would probably make down there. So, yeah, I welcome anyone else on the same topic. Absolutely, and I appreciate your call. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Let's go to line number one. I feel like I'm down at the regatta. Number one. Who's got number one? Tim, you're on the air.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Tim.
I knew Joe Squires because he was my teacher at trade school.
Okay. So do you want to just inform our listeners, just tell our listeners who you're speaking about here and who Joe Squires was?
He was a teacher from the Vera Plynn.
Right.
And he got sick. He got sick and he ended up in the home.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry to hear this. I mean, look, I know the name, but I obviously
I didn't know that he died until I went down to the funeral home yesterday. I didn't know.
Yeah, I think it was the 3rd, so what's today, the 7th, and I think it was 4 days ago now.
And he used to work with people with disabilities, like in the group home. He used to help out people in the group home.
Yeah. Just tell me a little about him, Joe. Sorry, Tim. How would you describe him? If you ran into him on the street, like to somebody, if you were going to try to describe Joe.
He used to like talk to you like if you needed any help and like he used to teach us how to do our banking and go to the bank.
So you were a client of Veripolin Society, correct?
Yeah.
And he did that for you and for others, and the work that goes on at Veripolin, it is invaluable.
And they has a button shop too. They provide work for people too.
I'm really glad you called about Joe, because there's so much. We've lost so many, and we talk about legends. In the Veripolin Society, I'm sure he's that to you.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of the clients are going to miss him too.
Yeah, absolutely. I can only imagine. The Veripolin Society. This is a bit out of the blue for me. I wasn't aware. I'm trying to keep.
Did you know him?
No, I didn't know him personally. I know the name as soon as I saw it come up on my screen that you wanted to talk about him. But I wasn't. I couldn't place him. But it compares to nothing. You knew him well, obviously, and all the things he did for you and for others at Veripolin.
How I found out because one of my neighbors died yesterday, and I had to go to the funeral home. One of my neighbors had a heart attack.
Well, again, unfortunate way to find out too. This is close to your neighbor as well.
Yeah. See, my neighbor used to help out, like some of the neighbors, if they needed any help. One of my neighbors used to help out.
And it's a shame you found out that way, but sometimes at least you find out. Sometimes these things can go over our head a bit.
Someone said he was sick for a while, and he ended up in a home.
Wow. You're hard to track it sometimes, isn't there?
Yeah.
If they leave the situation that you're familiar with and then they can pass. Unfortunately, I'm not a big social media person, but a lot of the times that's the way I'm finding out these days. It's the one great value I find just for community.
And if anyone wants to go to the funeral's at 2 o'clock at Carnell's.
Yeah, it's actually at the chapel there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I see where he waked yesterday from 12 to 8. I'm just looking at his obituary here now.
Yeah. How old was he?
It's saying, let's see, 57. So, oh my God, so 43 plus 26, I guess.
Yeah.
43, 26, 70. I'm not a math guy. I'm not even going to try to do it. It's too much pressure for me to do math on the air. But basically, so he was born in 57, June 4th, so he would have been, so it's 43 years here under the bridge and 20 more, 26 more.
Yeah.
Well, it's it's too soon. There's no question about that. He's only early 70.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate, but Joe, Tim, I'm sure the people who knew him are nodding in agreement with you now for the work that he did.
And I made a donation to the Veripolin in his memory.
Well, 69, Dave tells me. I thought it might be 70. Yeah, 69 he would have been. That's way too young. And for the work that he did. Do you know how many years he worked with the Veripolin? I'm going to look for more information.
I'm not sure. It must have been a long while, though, I think.
Yeah, and it talks here about the moments of kindness, warmth, and the presence that he had, and how words can't really fully capture his life. And, people like that, that's usually the way it is. You really had to experience it like someone like you. So, Tim, I really appreciate you calling in about this today. Otherwise, it might not have gotten the notice that it should. So, thanks.
And there's another group of people, the Progress Club. They help people, too.
Oh, there's the groups, and I'm intimately familiar with the Progress Club and the people involved there. We just lost John Hutton, who was a big part. The musician John Hutton, who's a big part of Progress Club, of course, too, over the years. So,
like they provide like a meal for
and cook. Yeah,
they has like a little like dance for the Veripolin like Christmas time, and they provide food for us.
Yeah, I might have a band or two that we've played for those and done gigs with them, for those events. So that's another great mention there too, Tim. Look, I appreciate the call. I got to get to the news, but
okay.
Thanks for bringing this to our attention. His life shouldn't go that quietly. So I really appreciate that. And again, the funeral today, 2 o'clock at Carnell's.
2 o'clock today. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks again, Tim.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Passing of Joe Squires, yeah. So if you have, obviously, Veerpolin touches so many families and so many people, and the help it does is invaluable. If you want to make a donation on Joe's behalf, Joe Squires, yes. So anyone else with recollections of the work, clearly cherished, remembered for all the work he does with, people who do that kind of work in the community, any kind of community work for the betterment is just, rewarding in itself for us and them.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Let's go. Last caller of the week, Glenn Carew. Bick, you're on the air.
How's it going this morning, Brian?
Really good. Sorry, Councillor Glenn Carew, I should say. But are you taking that hat off today and walking down memory lane?
I'm taking off my hat yesterday as the councillor in the beautiful town of Paradise. And Brian, I'd be remiss if this is my very first time calling the open line, so I'd be remiss if I didn't say first time caller, long time listener.
You got it, man. You got it.
Brian, I'd like to just quickly touch, and I know there's a few references to it this week on your show, and I'd be remiss if I didn't essentially call in to acknowledge the passing of John Cook, or Bull Cook as everyone knew him, and pass along the condolences to the family, Lisa, Lewis, and Sarah, and of course the large circle of John's family, friends, business acquaintances, previous customers, all the above. So he was a mentor for many in the industry, in the hospitality industry, and of course, just quickly, I'll quickly dive in. I somehow have become the historian for George Street, although I still consider myself a pretty young buck, as they say.
John, you know what it comes from.
Me,
that's experience for you.
That's true. That's right, exactly. But just to quickly touch, I want to get a little bit of time here, but I want to make sure we make this meaningful, Brian. And John was a friend to many. He was an employer to many. I mean, how many police officers, dentists, doctors, lawyers do I know today that had their days punched, either working on the patio, teachers, punching their time on the patio over the years, as a summer job, as a sideline, at the Sundance, which Sundance in the summertime in its heyday, in the mid to late 2000s would have 100+ staff, 120 staff in the summertime.
Wheels.
Yeah, he had his touch on everybody. But just to take it back a little further, of course, John started out, many years before that. The Cook family did start Big Ben's Pub, in which we had a beautiful little send-off yesterday evening after all the formalities of the funeral, over at Big Ben's Pub there in Churchill Square. But, John had a lot. He was an icon in the industry, hospitality industry, of course. Started out many, many years ago. He was involved in many clubs and businesses, Brian, long before my time, but I'll acknowledge them because there's probably many of your callers that would know these places. So there was he had a place called Barristers, there was a place called Uncle Albert's, there was Peppers, he owned the Sterling Steakhouse. Of course, what people would remember him from, most people, is the Sundance. And of course, the Sundance Saloon is immortalized forever in the great big seesaw the night Patty Murphy died, right? So,
yeah.
Right, so
I was going to say the old black rum, but no, it was Patty Murphy. You're right.
And the Sundance, in this day and age, you don't see the staying power of bars and restaurants that had the 39-year run that the Sundance did. So of course, what an iconic business from an icon himself. And just to quickly touch back on a couple of your previous callers, because I know Barry Canning was on the line. Barry's a friend of mine.
Yes, sir.
And of course, we're talking about Boomer, and I made my donation a little earlier as well. Thanks, Barry, for that little nudge. And but of course, Barry talked about the Brian McLeod benefit that Boomer used to put off every year. Brian McLeod, who played in Chilliwack, the Headpins, and from Newfoundland, one of the best guitar players and musicians ever to grace the stage across the country and around the world. So that particular fundraiser used to happen at the Sundance many years ago. Every once a year they'd have it at the Sundance. I remember seeing the big checks, the big Happy Gilmore size checks up on the wall, but the monies that were raised over the years. And so I wish Boomer all the best of luck as he goes through his process there and his health matters. Just circling back, of course, John Cook, Bull Cook, was a charter member in the St. John's Canadian Progress Club of St. John's, sorry.
Yep.
And we talked about John Hutton. It's over John Hutton, right? So we're all bringing this all together. This community is small, and it's amazing how many degrees of separation, exist amongst us all, Brian. John was involved in the Progress Club as well. But then one of the last calls you had was about the send off for Special Olympics, right. And of course, the St. John's Progress Club were very instrumental and a very big supporter of the Special Olympics and Berlin. I myself, me and my band, Vic and the Ballpoints, we played many a Christmas party up in Club 1 over the years. Again, another time where John opened up the building. His kindness and is just didn't know any bounds, right? So I just wanted to make sure, we understood that we lost a really good man yesterday. He was a strong, silent type. There'll never be another one like him. And just to touch back on a few firsts for those who remember way back in the day. The very first draft beer was poured at the Sundance. It was a Molson beer. The very first ATM outside of a bank was actually in the Sundance. Of course, the very first George Street. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right for the bathrooms. That's right. The very first George Street Festival happened in the parking lot of the Sundance, which was right on George Street way back in 39 or 40 years ago. And of course, little things like chicken wings, buffalo wings. I remember John telling me that that back in the day when they first started selling these buffalo wings that he got up along. I know other people sold buffalo wings, but they sold a lot of them at the Sundance. Yep. He said the chicken wing was the cheapest part of the bird, and of course, nowadays it's the most expensive thing on the plate as an operator in the industry. So, so a lot of firsts. He was a really good man, Brian. I know I'll allow you to jump in there because I think I've monopolized all your time here. I want to make sure that people knew we lost a real icon and pioneer in the hospitality business.
Nope, Glenn, listen, I'm not going to, nothing I can add. Tight-knit, but the closest community you're going to get. Thanks for the call. We're well over time, but this was very important and more than called for. So thanks for the call. Thanks for the reminiscence. And listen, anytime, give us another shout. We'll continue this.
Thank you, brother. God bless.
Take care of yourself.
Great weekend.
You too. Thanks, Glenn.
Bye-bye.
Glenn Crew there, Counselor in Paradise. We are done for the week here. Thanks, everyone. We're just going to get out. Drive safely. Arrive alive, everyone. VOCM cares.